So good morning everyone. Now we will see what is integer arithmetic. In previous class we have seen about integers now. So now we will see integer arithmetic. See here, what is integer arithmetic? We have a division rule, a equal to q into n plus r. Okay, r is the remainder, q is the quotient, a is the divisor, n is the dividend. So see here, a is dividend, q is quotient, n divisor, n divisor, r remainder. So we have seen about integers. Now continuation for integers. Next one is division property. We can call this as division property. So what is the division rule we have? A equal to q into n plus r. This is the division rule we have. Where q is the quotient, a is dividend, n is divisor, r is remainder. So this is integer arithmetic, where we can divide any two numbers one by each other. So here four integers we are taking. That four integers are nothing but a, q, n, r. So previous slide we have discussed about integers. Now continuation for this we are discussing about division rule. So in this division rule our standard rule is this. So we are taking an example. See here, 255 is divided by 11. 255 when divided by 11. Okay, this 11 is n, 255 is a. Here we are going to get quotient and remainder. So when 255 will be divided with 11, so see here, 11 is the value of n, 23 is the value of q, 255 is the value of a, 2 is the value of r. So a equal to 255, n equal to 11, q equal to 23, r equal to 2. This is how we performed integer arithmetic and division. So in this we have two restrictions. What are the two restrictions we have in this? See here, two restrictions we have in division rule. N should be greater than 0, r should be greater than or equal to 0. N greater than 0 means n always should be positive. R greater than or equal to 0 means r should not be negative, r should be non-negative. So same, integers is represented with z. We are taking integers and we are performing division rule on them. Division rule is nothing but a equal to q into n plus r. Here we have some restrictions on n and r. N should be greater than 0, r should be greater than or equal to 0. These two are the two restrictions. N should be greater than 0, r should be greater than or equal to 0. These two are two restrictions. When we take integers and perform division rule, again we will get quotient and remainder. So two restrictions we have while performing division are n should be greater than 0, r should be greater than or equal to 0. So see here. So first we have taken integers. We are performing three operations on integers. The three operations are addition, multiplication, subtraction. And we have seen example for that. After that we came into integer arithmetic, where we have the division rule. In this division rule we have taken an example and solved it, where we got remainder 2. So next, in that integer arithmetic we have two restrictions. The two restrictions are nothing but n should always be greater than 0, r should always be greater than or equal to 0. What are the technical terms? N should be positive, r should be non-negative. Again same integers we have taken. We are applying division rule. Here we will get quotient and remainder as output. So next one, divisibility. See here, if r equal to 0, then how our division rule will change? A equal to q into n. So what is our division rule? A equal to q into n plus r. When this r becomes 0, our division rule becomes A equal to Q into N. So this is the first step we have to see. Next one, if remainder is 0, we are going to perform A mod N. If remainder is not 0, we are going to perform A into N. Listen carefully. We are considering A equal to Q into N plus R. If suppose R is 0, this will transform into A equal to Q into N. Next one, if remainder is 0, if R is 0, we are going to perform A mod N. If R is not equal to 0, we are going to perform A into N. Let us see example for that. See, integer 4 divides integer 32. So 32 divided by 4. So what is the remainder we will get? 0. When remainder is 0, what we are going to do? A mod N. So what is the first example? Integer 4 divides integer 32. So 32 is A, 4 is N, 8 is Q. So R is 0. So according to that, what is our condition? 4 mod 32, nothing but A mod N. So A mod N, 4. See once again, integer 4 dividing integer 32. 32. So value of N is 4, value of A is 32, value of Q is 8, value of R is 0. When R is 0, what we should do? We should do A mod N. So what is the value of A? 32. Mod N 4. So next example, number 8 does not divide the number 42. See, number 8, 42. So what is the remainder here? 2. A value is 42, N value is 8, Q value is 5, but R equal to 2, that means R not equal to 0. When R not equal to 0, what we should do? A into N. What is A into N? 42 into 8. A into N. So like that. A into N. So second example is number 8 does not divide the number 42 that we have performed. When R is not equal to 0, we should do A into N. Okay, this is divisibility. These are the properties of divisibility. Now we are seeing properties of divisibility. What are the properties we have? First, we should consider 0, then 1, then minus 1. See division rules by considering 0, 1 and minus 1. 0 is divisible by any integer, but it divides only itself. Next, 1 and minus 1 divide all the integers, but they are divisible only by themselves and one another. So first two division properties, we are talking about division properties. We have 6 division properties. In that 6 division properties, first two are 0 is divisible by any integer but divides only itself. 1 and minus 1 will divide all integers but divisible only themselves and each other. So see the third one. What is the third one? If y mod x and x not equal to 0, then mod y less than or equal to mod x. If y mod x, x not equal to 0, then mod y less than or equal to mod x. This is third division rule. What is the fourth division rule? If x mod y and y mod z, then x mod z. It is nothing but transitive. X mod y, y mod z, then x mod z. This rule is nothing but transitive, you already know. See 5 and 6. If x mod y and x mod z, then x mod y plus or minus z. See here, x mod y and x mod z also. Nothing but x can perform mod operation with y and z. So what they are doing? X mod plus or minus y plus z. So finally last one, x mod y and z is integer, then x mod y into z. So what you can see here, y into z or y plus or minus z can happen. So y plus or minus z or yz, addition, subtraction or multiplication. Here y plus z or y minus z. Here y into z. So our three operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication can be happen when z is an integer and x mod y. When x mod y and z is an integer, what all can happen? x mod y plus or minus z or x mod y into z. These are the division properties. So next let us discuss Euclidean algorithm. See, I have told you Euclidean algorithm for calculating GCD. We are discussing mathematics of cryptography. Mathematics of cryptography is last topic of unit 1. In mathematics of cryptography we have several subtopics. In that our purpose is to find GCD. To find GCD we have two algorithms. First one is Euclidean algorithm. First one is Euclidean algorithm. So why Euclidean algorithm is used? Euclidean algorithm is a basic technique in number theory. This is a simple procedure and this is used for determining greatest common divisor. Greatest common divisor is nothing but GCD. Greatest common divisor is nothing but GCD. So why Euclidean algorithm is used? Euclidean algorithm is a basic technique in number theory. It is a simple procedure. It is for determining GCD. GCD is nothing but greatest common divisor. For what it can provide GCD? For positive integers, for two positive integers. So greatest common divisor is nothing but GCD. This Euclidean algorithm is mainly for calculating GCD. For what it can calculate GCD? Two positive integers. The two positive integers are nothing but a comma b. If a comma b are two positive integers, to calculate GCD of a comma b, we have Euclidean algorithm. So listen again. If a comma b are two positive integers, to calculate GCD of a comma b, we have Euclidean algorithm. See here, greatest common divisor GCD they have given. The greatest common divisor of a comma b, two positive integers, is also a largest integer that divides both a and b. So divisor GCD of a comma b will be again integer which divides a and b. So GCD of a comma b equal to an integer. This is largest integer and it will divide both a and b. So Euclidean algorithm Euclidean algorithm in number theory is to determine GCD. GCD can be calculated between two positive integers. If a comma b are two positive integers, then GCD of the two positive integers will be a large integer which should divide both a and b. So what are the two facts we have? GCD of a comma 0 is a and GCD of a comma b is GCD of b comma r. GCD of a comma 0 will be a. If your second integer is 0, GCD will be first integer. A comma 0. These two are two integers. What will be the GCD of these two integers? A only, because the second integer is 0. This is fact 1. What is fact 2? GCD of a comma b equal to b comma r. B is the second integer, r is the remainder. So a comma b are two integers, two positive integers. GCD of these integers will be a large positive integer which will divide both a and b. Now if GCD of a comma 0 will be a because second integer is 0. If GCD of a comma b both are positive integers, then it will be b comma r. GCD of b comma r. B is the second integer, r is the remainder. So this is Euclidean algorithm.